5 seconds. Sir, a tax collected by the state for the state GST naturally has to go to the consolidated fund of the state. There is actually a conceptual problem. Where do revenues collected go? What is the mechanism whereby the distribution is done immediately so that the revenue can be collected and somebody sits on it? That is an important aspect that needs to be clarified. So that is what I would like that the Honorable Finance Minister to reconsider the amendment number 3 that he has moved. Secondly, that is an important point. You collect revenue. What is the mechanism and what is the time frame within which it is shared between the states and the center? If you do not have that clarity, then how can you collect revenue which does not go into the consolidated fund? That is not permissible under our constitution. That cannot remain in vacuum, hanging somewhere that amount. Therefore, this is a serious lacuna. According to me, that needs to be addressed. Then there is another amendment number 4 that has been moved by the Honorable Finance Minister. Sir, I have with me letters from the Chairman of the Empowered Committee of State Finance Ministers, a position that this bill has discussed over the last 2 decades, a position that was occupied by the left front government's finance minister, now occupied by the current finance minister of West Bengal, and a letter also from the finance minister of Kerala. I know letters by the state finance ministers should not normally be read out here, so I am not reading out these letters. Now, both the West Bengal finance minister and the Kerala finance minister, and I think there is a point in which they argue that there has been an issue on the question of the tax levied and collected by the union under clause 2, etc., etc. This is the newly proposed amendment under the same amendment number 4 of the Finance Minister to clause 10, whereby this amendment, I am informed, has not been discussed in the last empowered committee meeting of the state finance ministers, and it goes against the decision of the empowered committee of 2014, where it was decided that the residual amount in the IGST shall be shared with the states as per the Finance Commission's formula formulated during financial years. Therefore, both the states, the chairman of the empowered committee, have suggested that this be deleted and let clause 10 remain what it was as the Lok Sabha passed it. That needs serious consideration, and I would like the Honorable Finance Minister to respond to that when he sums up this discussion. The fourth major point is on the dispute resolution mechanism. Right now, it appears that it is left to the GST Council. They will work out a mechanism. I think a greater thought must be given to that. That mechanism must be spelt out more concretely and in a tangible form at the time when the GST bill is brought for consideration. I am requesting the Finance Minister to do so. Finally, sir, I will end with only one point. This is a very serious piece of legislation. We are making a very major radical departure from the revenues collected by the states and the central governments for their functioning. We are making a very major departure from the objectives for which these revenues are collected and how they will be spent. This is of such a major importance that not only the GST bill should come back for consideration, but also all connected with the GST bill must be brought here also for our deliberations. Therefore, they should not be brought as money bills. I myself made an appeal to the Finance Minister. You are aware that I told you earlier of my interpretation of Article 110 of the Constitution of India. It is a non-legal, non-lawyer, common sense interpretation. Article 110 says that what are the items that constitute a money bill. Article 110 says what are the items that don't constitute a money bill. Article 110 states that in the case of a dispute, the decision of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha will be final. Common sense interpretation is that the matters under adjudication of the Honorable Speaker of Lok Sabha are matters that are not mentioned either in Article 110(1) or Article 110(2). Only then Article 110(3) should come into operation. But now what is happening? Article 110(3) is coming into operation for matters listed in Article 110(1) and 2. I think that is wrong, but anyway, one of our colleagues has taken it to the Supreme Court. Let us wait for the verdict in that spirit. I had even said this once before. It means that in our indiscretion or hangover from the colonial rule be correct now.